Hey, what's going on, guys? Alex here with the Sports Center, and this is your weekly fishing report. A lot of stuff going on out there, especially once again early mornings. We have this massive heat wave that seems to not go away. So we're back to those upper 90-degree days. So getting out there early is going to be key. Primarily fishing, until probably noon at the most. Areas. Most of these fish are still way spread out. It has not been a typical summer where you have certain areas being, the hot spot. There is some areas though that might have a little more fish in this upper part of the bay than others. But remember, those fish are moving throughout with the tide. So let's talk about where to go. If you're still in the Annapolis area, towards, the Magothy or the South River, your key is going to be actually to stay in the rivers. You don't necessarily have to come out to the bay to catch keeper-sized rockfish or any kind of rockfish. There's plenty of fish hanging out inside the rivers, whether it's the Severn, the Magothy, and the South River. I know I got some confirmed reports from a lot of guys fishing up in the Magothy and Severn early morning, first light, either top water, subsurface, casting out to some of those deeper points, or docks that have deeper, water on them. And that's been pretty productive with people getting fish up to like almost 30 inches, 28, 29 inches. So casting small paddle tails, jerk baits, top water lures like a spook or a popper are the main things you want to do right now. There is some schoolies kind of jumping around when the tide's switching in the mornings inside the rivers. They're obviously feeding on small peanut bunker and some rain bait. So a lot of it is going to be mid-sized stuff, from the teens to like maybe keeper-sized fish. Live lining. Of course you can live line. Even if you're up in the rivers too, you can still do this. This means if you can catch some little spot, even perch, you can free line them, meaning you're casting these little spot or perch to the docks or just drifting with them on these drop-offs, and you will do just as good in the rivers and out in the main bay. If you do want to come out to the main bay, obviously we always speak about this. Typical areas to fish, and once again, it's going to be pretty much a short window when you get out there. It's going to be like Thomas Point Lighthouse, the Bay Bridge Pilings, Hackett's Point, moving into the mouth of the Magothy at like Mountain Point. Some of those areas will be pretty decent for you guys that want to fish some structure, especially the Bay Bridge Pilings. I mean, if you get out there early and fish the tide. Pilings, just move piling to piling. You will find some fish, believe me. You just got to be patient and wait for that current to kick in. Other than that, you're going to be seeing perch pretty much all throughout the area. Has been actually really productive with a lot of these perch hitting that upper 12-inch mark, even some 13-inch. And a lot of guys are using these guys here, the NLBNs. They do catch some fish. I wasn't a big believer myself, but that little profile on their jigs do tend to get some bigger perch and some rockfish. And believe it or not, even some puppy drum around the area, as long as you're casting to any kind of shoreline structure. Again, we keep talking about structure and we're talking about shorelines a lot. So meaning a lot of those fish are holding on there, and once the sun comes up, find some shaded areas and you will find some of those bigger perch. If you're fishing deeper water, the Chesapeake rigs are going to be great. And if you want to catch the mix of everything, the Streaks 375s with the Willow Vibes is a good combo for some bigger perch or other species, even if you're farther down south. Chunking, if you're going to get out there and chunk right now, you're primarily going to be catching a mix of things, as always, primarily striped bass and catfish. So Hackett's Point is one of those places where you can try it out. But if I'm doing that, I will head north towards Hodges Bar and sit up there and do that with a nice mix of big blue cats and striped bass. Crabbing's been great this time of the year. A lot of nice crabs being caught out there. Remember, we got a few days left of that 5-inch mark until we get to the 14. Past that, we go to 5 1/4. Racer Clams is a ticket, so come get some clams. And that's it for your fishing report. You guys have a good one.